Well, hello, friends. How are you this evening? We are going live from Maya's room tonight. Look at this. She's got this awesome twinkle lights. It says love on her wall. Isn't that amazing? All right, so let's talk about this. I get fired up on this one because, there's not a lot of agreement for this type of vulnerable marketing. By the way, this is Chris Angel. I'm coming at you. And this is an episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. This is a show called Marketing for the Rest of Us. And the rest of us are people who have a heart for other humans. And when you have a heart for other humans, it's hard to it's hard to do marketing from the place where the rest of the world teaches marketing. Because the rest of the world doesn't teach marketing from a heart-centered place. They teach it from a place of tools and tactics, strength and masculinity, like we're going to have all the answers and be confident and pose and front and posture, all the cool things we think we are. And that is the exact problem with marketing. So, here's the deal. Much of what I teach in marketing is about being vulnerable, transparent. Like, for you to set others free, you have to step out from behind your mask. You have to step out from behind having all the answers and be real and fallible, right? You have to be someone who is imperfect in order for me, the person watching your marketing, your video, your content, to trust you. If you come off as having all the answers, if you come off like traditional marketing where you're strong and fronting with all the answers, no sign of weakness, then what happens is I don't trust you. What you have to say to me just goes right by me, and I don't care. So here's what I've noticed. Like, if you're in this tribe, you get this. You get this in a big way. You understand that vulnerability is what creates empathy. It's what creates connection for you. When I've shared vulnerably, it's created connection for you. When somebody else shares vulnerably, it creates connection for you. And so you get it. You understand that is hardwired into who we are as humans. But then you go home and talk to your significant other or whoever, I don't care. You could talk to somebody at your office, somebody in your profession, in your association, and you tell them all these cool ideas about being vulnerable and throwing yourself under the bus and being transparent and all of that. And pretty soon what you're met with is no agreement. People push back and they're like, that's a stupid idea. That's a terrible idea. Nobody's ever going to want to hire you or work with you if you come off like poor me and little victim. Like, if you're going to be a baby about it, nobody's going to work with you. And this is how they think. Now, mind you, those people in your life are most likely not even marketers. So how the hell do they know? What do they know? And what gives them the right to sit on some chair and throw stones at what truth you've seen for how to connect with people? And yet, you'll go put your head on the pillow at night and you'll question like, am I wrong? Maybe I'm not, maybe they're right. Maybe I shouldn't be doing marketing this way. Maybe I shouldn't be vulnerable in my marketing. Maybe I'm supposed to have all the answers. And then you'll second guess yourself. Now, you could stay in this pattern for a really long time if you want to. But my recommendation is that you simply listen to the truth because you are smarter than you give yourself credit for. You are wiser than you know. And all the people who seem to be super confident and aggressive in their opinion are actually more ignorant than you. They don't know. They haven't spent their life trying to find a connection with humans. You get the connection piece. That's what makes you a great marketer, a great person in this tribe, is that you understand how to champion someone's soul. And you know you don't do that from pretense. You know you don't do that from the false front of having it all together. You know that the easiest way to create connection is to be transparent and vulnerable. I don't know if this is true. I always felt like maybe in some way I was an animal whisperer growing up. Like, animals just seem to like me. I don't know why that is. I think I'm good with animals. I love animals. And I remember as I was growing up, there was something about if an animal felt skittish, right? An animal was like, apprehensive, that I would back off. I wouldn't get more aggressive with the animal. I wouldn't front to the animal. I would lower myself to the animal's stature. Whatever the animal's doing, I would mirror that, right? And this would create a safe place for the animal to begin to come towards me, connect with me, trust me, right? This is how it is with humans. Hey, by the way, do you know that humans are animals? And so there's this hardwired primal animal thing in us as humans where that when you front with answers, when you come off as having it all together and having it all figured out, guess what we do over here? Because we've already been to that rodeo. It's not our first rodeo. We've already been there. And when we sense that, when we smell that you're the arrogant person coming off with all the answers, did you know that we don't trust that? We keep our distance because it doesn't feel safe. And yet, you go home feeling so convicted that you want to be vulnerable, share whatever ideas you have with your significant other or people in your office, and they shoot it down because they think, well, that's a stupid way to market. Why would you do that? And here's what you're bumping up against. You want to go, let's take this a step further, okay? Let's go deeper. Here's what you're bumping up against. You're bumping up against their own fear of vulnerability. They are afraid to be seen. Why on earth would you want to be seen? They don't want to be seen. That's a terrible idea. You will find this, right? In humanity, people are afraid to be seen. And so whenever you start to talk about things like transparency, vulnerability, throw yourself under the bus, take one for the team, fall on your own sword, people are like, that's stupid, because they're too afraid to own their own weakness. Now, that's an interesting thought, isn't it? To own your weakness. What I noticed as I started to create content in marketing where I was owning my weakness, I wasn't even owning my answers. I was only owning my weakness. What I noticed was that it created a connection. Much like when I was a kid and I was connecting with animals and animals felt safe around me because I wasn't aggressive. I created a safe place for them. The same thing happens. Like I started to share my weakness and people started to feel connected to me. Now, I wasn't sharing my weakness from a place of feeling bad about it. I was sharing my weakness from a place of having felt like I learned something from it. We never share. Gang, we never share from a place of weakness in our weakness, right? We're not sharing from a place of being a victim to the thing that happened to us. We're always sharing from a place of, here's what life taught me. Like, this is what happened, and this is what I think I'm seeing. I think this is happening. You can look at my written post today. My written post today has no answers. It only looks at the conversation of myself and my rebel, where my rebel has served me well for years, but now I feel like my rebel is undermining my success. That written post is not written from a place of answers. It's written from a place of what I'm currently wrestling with. But I didn't share it from a place of being a victim to my rebel. I shared it from a place of strength in what I'm learning based on what I'm seeing. And this gives others courage. When you step out from behind your mask and people can see you for who you are, good and bad, you give them courage to step out from behind their mask. Now you actually have an authentic interaction. Now you actually have a chance for something real. You have a chance to attract a real client. Somebody who wants to be in the relationship with you, not because you fronted, but because they get that you get them. This is marketing for the rest of us. This is how we go out in the world and make a difference. This is how we create a groundswell in the world, is by helping people step out from behind their mask. Because until this world steps out from behind their mask, we will continue as a culture, as a society, as a species to front and posture and puff, to pretend like we have it all figured out when none of us actually does. Your job as the leader, your job as the person bringing transformation, the only way you get transformation is if you meet them and their real self with your real self. That's the only way you can get to transformation. You can't build transformation on top of pretense. You can't build transformation on top of falsehoods, pretending. You can only build transformation in from authenticity, from what's real, true, and honest. This is why your marketing has to come from a place of vulnerability. And you can tell your spouse and everybody at your office to go jump in a lake because they don't get it. They're too afraid. They're too afraid to look at their own vulnerability. It is not a popular stance. It is not a popular strategy to market from vulnerability. And what I'm telling you is if you want transformation, you have to have it, you have to create it from a place of transparency and authenticity. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. You're gonna build a lot of positive quotes and a lot of cool mindsets and affirmations on top of people pretending like they have it all together. And that doesn't create transformation. That just perpetuates the bullshit that happens. So, marketing starts with you being transparent and vulnerable, so that the people you're actually trying to create transformation for, the people you're trying to lead, the people you're trying to serve, feel safe with you to step out from behind their mask so that you can have a real conversation, so that real change can happen. And if you choose to take on marketing this way, then you will experience this kind of transformation. You will experience this kind of blissful, joyful marketing that we get to do in the world by being real human beings. So, that's it, gang. That is it. If you would like to learn more how to do that, you can always go take my free course if you haven't already at groundswellmethod.com. It's called Marketing for the Rest of Us, the course. And it's 5 videos, just over 90 minutes, that actually walk you through the mindset shift that you have to make in order to start feeling comfortable marketing this way. And once you do, I think what you'll see is that this actually leads from a place of strength as well as vulnerability. It just doesn't lead from pretense. It doesn't lead from faking, posturing, puffing. So here's to you, everyone, and your continued venture into authenticity and actually making a real difference in the world. We'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. Until then, good night.